Hello. So today we're going to talk about how your pleasure is your gift. And don't mind my cut nose and big lip. I might have a little bit of a lisp. I fell a couple days ago, but I'm good to talk now. So we're going to roll with it. Hey, Kunal. Hey, Ellie. Hey. So your pleasure is your gift. Now, what do I mean when I say pleasure? I don't just mean sexually pleasure. A lot of people associate pleasure with sex. It obviously is related to that. But I mean the visceral sensation of pleasure in your body. From your head down to your toes, the sensation of pleasure. Pleasure is actually an energy. It is the energy of love. It is the energy of abundance. It is the energy that is connected to the entire universe, the entire quantum field. So as we begin to create pleasure in your body and in your nervous system, you're actually aligning to the universe and to the quantum field, and it begins to make everything in your life flow a lot more easily because you are aligned with the universe. But what's even, I don't want to say the word better, but what I think is cooler or more fulfilling about creating pleasure within your body is the way it makes you feel with your relationship to yourself. About 7 months ago, we were in the pandemic, obviously, and when the pandemic first started, I noticed myself starting to go into a pattern that I used to have a lot. This is the pattern that you might be familiar with. It's a pattern of waiting for something in the future to feel good, waiting for a then. I began to start waiting for the pandemic to be over to live a life that I love. I began to push off joy and pleasure in my current reality for a then. And I began to spend the weekends binge watching TV all weekend, and in a way that wasn't bringing me pleasure. It was just something to do. And about 7 months ago, I just realized that I was still waiting on something outside of myself to feel fulfilled, knowing that time is the only thing that we have and it's the only resource that is limited. I just became intolerant to my own suffering, to my own waiting, to my own waiting for another time, another person, another client, another income goal, another vaccine, another whatever to feel good. Because if you think about it, there's always going to be things in our life that are going to be out of our control, right? We are going to age. There are going to be other pandemics. There are going to be other life events that are outside of our control. We can't control that, so we can't keep waiting. And I know if you're watching this video, which you have like a 1 in a billion chance of watching this video, you are probably feeling called to live a life that you really, really love, where you feel deeply connected to yourself, to your life, to your purpose, to your relationships and your partners and your friends. And it all begins with creating pleasure in your body. So 7 months ago, when I committed to living a life of pleasure and feeling pleasure in my body every single day, no matter the outside circumstance, no matter where I was living or who I was surrounded by or what the state of the country looked like or what the world looked like, dude, my life began to transform. As I was creating pleasure in my body, as I was increasing my capacity in my nervous system to hold more pleasure in my body, because a lot of times the reason that we don't have the thing that we want is because we're actually not used to holding pleasure in our body. It can feel too good, and then we'll begin to deflect it, right? So what we have to do is retrain the nervous system to expand the capacity to hold pleasure in your body. And we do this inside my Love Embodied group coaching program, which we begin next week. But as I was doing these practices, I was feeling more pleasure in my body. So I was just at peace with what is. It was like, yes, we're in a pandemic. Yes, there's all these things going on outside. Yes, back then I was like upset that I didn't have a car. I was upset with where I was living. I was upset with a lot of things, but I started to create peace in that. I began to accept my reality, and then I was able to create internal peace and joy and gratitude and love and pleasure in my body, in that reality. And guess what happens when we do that, you guys? Guess what happens? Our reality starts to shift and change and evolve. So extremely quickly, I manifested a brand new car that I was absolutely in love with, and a move to California, where I've been dreaming about living here since I was a child. As I was creating the pleasure in my body, it was like, how could I not? These things started to arise as opportunities that were just flowing into my life. And it was like, how could I not? I began to attract a community here. I've been living here for 3 months now, and a community of very loving, fun, adventurous people who like to go on spontaneous trips. I've always wanted to manifest travel, and my mind was like, how in the world would I manifest travel in the middle of a pandemic? But I've gone on so many trips within the States, socially distanced, being able to travel and adventure. And I haven't had to figure out any of this with my mind. All I need to do, all I get to do is create pleasure in my body and be open and surrender and lean back. And I teach you how to do all of this inside of Love Embodied. But you have to be willing to live a life of pleasure. You have to be willing for your life to change, because I guarantee you, if you begin to embody pleasure in your body every single day, you're going to begin to become intolerant to certain things in your life, certain maybe people that you're around or circles that you go within where there's a lot of complaining maybe, or maybe certain situations, certain experiences. I don't know, but I don't know the specifics, but I will say that as you're creating pleasure in your body, you're going to become more discerning of what you are worth. And you're going to become intolerant to allowing people and things and situations that aren't honoring you and aren't respecting you and aren't filling you up. You're going to set boundaries for that. And you're going to create space for the beauty to flood in, for the deep, fulfilling relationships, opportunities, careers. So I mentioned how I have the community that I've created here, and I've also have deeply nourishing friendships. I'm meeting men that I didn't even know existed that are just like so loving and grounded and conscious, because I am embodying those qualities, right? So those are just a few of the specific things that have been manifested in my life since I started devoting myself to embodying love and pleasure 7 months ago every single day. And I want to take this a little deeper into the self-love that is created within. Self-love is not a mindset thing. I had someone who joined Love Embodied the other day. Before she joined, she messaged me and she said, Alicia, I'm really drawn to your work with sexuality and body and self-love, and I've always wanted to be in love with myself, but I keep noticing mental blocks. Like no matter how hard I try, I notice blocks. And the reason for those blocks is because we can only get so far with our minds. You know, we can say, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself all day long. We can write it down over and over and over again. But whenever a feeling of shame or guilt or sadness or grief or anything like that comes up within the body, we can't think our way out of that. We can't talk our way out of that. Self-love is in the body. It's in the body. It's connected to your body. It's a visceral experience and sensation that you don't need to think about. It just is. And we can turn it on just like that. anytime you start to feel self-conscious or sad or not good enough or anything like that, we can train your body, which is what we do in Love Embodied, to just surrender into it. You actually don't need to change anything about yourself. Through pleasure, we alchemize these pains and these shadows and these parts that might feel unworthy, and that allows you to feel more comfortable and loving and at peace and safe and turned on within your body. It's so good. And to full circle this around to, neuroplasticity, totally. And to full circle this around to how pleasure is your gift, just imagine how you will show up in the people that you care about, their lives, when you are connected to your pleasure. Like when you're feeling pleasure running through your body, when you're feeling open and turned on to life itself and to yourself, you're magnetic, you're radiant, you're confident, you're soft, you're open, you're loving. And everyone in your life is affected by that. Your kids or future kids, you'll be a role model for them, to be enjoying the now, to be filling up on pleasure in the now, to be open and loving to yourself, therefore open and loving to others. Your partner or spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend, your friends, your future friends, your clients, your future clients. And the way energy works is everyone else too. We have this invisible energy field that you are always affecting. And when you are filling up on pleasure in your body, filling up, it is overflowing out of your heart without you even trying. And it is affecting your neighbors, your community, your state, your country, your lineage, because past and future, time is not linear. So it's actually healing your entire family, your mom, your grandma, your great-grandma, your kids. It's so cool, and I've noticed this in my own life. I used to try and change my family because I was like, I'm doing all this work, like, come on, you should do this too. That does not work. Don't try and change your family that way, but do it yourself. And you are the example, and you are helping them heal just through healing yourself. Your pleasure is your gift. So not only is it a gift, but it's helping you live a life that you love. It's helping you it's helping you be in this moment, right here, right now, in the only moment. Just feel joy, right? Enjoy, like, you know the word enjoy, it's to be in joy. We need to be able to feel pleasure in our body and increase our capacity to feel pleasure in this moment, to enjoy life, to enjoy the moment, yeah? All right, I'm gonna see if there's anything else I wanted to say. I jotted a couple notes down. Okay, yeah, so the only other thing I want to mention is when it comes to love, if you're feeling like you want deeper love in your life, it begins with you. Love is always flowing its way to us. It always wants to make its way to us. Everything we desire is always wanting to make its way to us, but we, you, me, need to give more love to yourself and receive more love from yourself than you're giving and receiving from others. Because as you give more to yourself, you're increasing your capacity to hold love. Everyone's mirroring back to us what we have within. So the more love you're filling up on within yourself, the more you get to receive from others. I did a breathwork class before, and I had like 20 people tell me, this class was incredible, I love you, thank you, I love you. And I couldn't receive it. It didn't affect me at all. It didn't fill me up. And then I got home and I was like, why was that? And I realized I was in my head being critical and anxious and thinking about the future and the past. I wasn't able to receive the love that was being given to me. I wasn't able to feel it, right? And the more that we fill up on our own love, the more we get to receive from others, the more we naturally give to others, and the more that we naturally attract into our life. So if you're surrounded by people that are maybe gossiping or lying or cheating or in a low vibe that you're not into, I would encourage you to look at your own energy and explore how are you attracting that into your life. And I promise you that whenever you fill up on your own love and you create the sensations of pleasure and love within your body, you are going to naturally attract people beyond what you could have ever imagined. It's so beautiful. I could literally cry right now. And we all get to have this. It's not luck. My life is not luck. It's co-creation through creating within my body and allowing, opening, surrendering, and allowing. Okay? Your pleasure is your gift. And again, if you're watching this, you are a light worker. You have a gift to share, a light to share. And it is your greatest gift to fill up on your own pleasure, on your own love, so that you overflow naturally and shine for all around you. And shining is a gift because you're giving other people permission to shine too. You're not taking from anybody, and you're not making anyone feel bad. I used to feel that way and feel like uncomfortable shining and sharing my light. But you're actually giving everyone permission to do the same. It's so beautiful. Okay, so if you feel called to filling up on pleasure, on overflowing and embodying love, then I invite you to join Love Embodied. The link is in my bio to see the details. It's an 8-week self-love and divine feminine embodiment journey. We begin next week. We have weekly Zoom calls. They're 90 minutes long. We do deep embodiment work, integrative work to really fill up on pleasure, like I'm talking about in this whole call, and embody love to improve your relationship with yourself, your relationship with others, to feel loved, to feel worthy, to start enjoying life now and no longer waiting for a then. Okay? DM me if you have any questions. I love you so much, and I hope you have a beautiful day.